What's that?
I just wish there was a way we could turn off that AC. I don't think there is. Do you know if there is?
I have zero idea.
I'm going to take a quick look. If there is, that would be amazing. If not, totally fine.
Highly doubt there is.
Might.
Hmm?
Sounds like one's off. I thought I was turning it off, but I was turning it on. I did.
Nice going, Ken.
No,
Are we still recording?
we're still recording here.
I love this. Leave it in.
I like it too. This is raw, dude.
I'm sure everyone else hates this, but I'm enjoying it,
Dude,
so it's fine.
It's fucking raw, dude. In case I didn't say fuck last episode. I don't remember.
I thought you did.
I don't think so. I don't think I got that worked up.
Guys, full disclosure. Me and Ken, occasionally, we're adults, we're humans. We curse sometimes. And you know what? There's moments in the podcast where it comes out of us.
We're adult human beings. We are being a human. You know what I mean? I'm just kidding.
You kind of laid hard into that.
Think about it, man. You ever really think about it? Oh, man. I hate the metronome.
Everyone else is just like, what the hell is going on in this episode?
Get me out of this hell. Oh, what the heck?
What?
Oh, man.
What?
It's just funny, man.
What?
My dad just texted me, would you like a small soundboard that you can use for mixing audio? I've got two. This would allow you to be able to use your microphone more easily because it provides phantom power. Well, I have phantom power in the audio interface. But that might...
for the third mic, that could be
for
super helpful. Oh, Ken, this is gold.
This is perfect, actually.
Guys, we might have a guest this upcoming week.
Yeah.
Not this episode, but the week after, we might have a guest.
Next week.
Our first ever guest, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, hopefully. Maybe this soundboard would be the ticket.
All right, we need to do the effing intro because you've been...
I know. You open it.
Guys, welcome to this new installment of The Cook and a Coach.
Welcome. I am Kenny. I'm the cook.
I'm Beza. I'm the coach. Welcome to the podcast. Me and Ken were talking, and we decided that we're gonna start adding some segments.
Yes.
To the show. Not that we want a ton of structure, but especially for me, if I don't have any structure, things are just gonna go off the rails and go off the tangents. We're gonna start each episode by Kenny talking about something in his world of cooking, whether it's some tips, some inspiration he has. Something cool going on in that world, and then after that I will do something similar but in the realm of coaching, sports performance, etc., and then
yeah, for sure. So for this week, we're in 2020 now. We're in the new decade.
It's official.
Year. It's official.
I mean, by the time you guys heard the last episode, we'd be well into 2020. But hey,
yes,
these podcasts come out late. Record them early. It is what it is. Roll with it. Yeah,
for sure. So going into 2020, the new decade, I'm trying to find ways to motivate myself to be doing new recipes, pushing myself to cook more consistently. And so I was thinking, how do I inspire myself to do that? And I have been watching a show recently that I really want to plug and just recommend to everybody. So good. It's called The Chef Show. It is incredible. It's directed by Jon Favreau, and it features him and Roy Choi. Bates, have you ever watched one of these episodes before?
I have not.
You are missing out.
But I'm a big Favreau fan.
Favreau's so great.
Incredible director. I also think a very underrated actor as well.
He's
Favreau.
fun. He's fun.
Yeah.
He has some good cameos randomly.
He does. He really does. I'm a big fan of Favreau, so I have to definitely check that out.
Yeah, he has so many good movies, and he's directing The Mandalorian too. But this show is incredible. So did you ever watch the Chef movie that came out?
No, but I know you, Dave, can't stop talking about
it. Yeah, it is incredible. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite movies. All right, so the movie is loosely based off of Roy Choi. He has this amazing taco truck in LA, and
right on.
Yeah, so the movie kind of loosely follows like a fictional version of what might happen if you left this really just like a corporate chef job and then went to a really cool food truck job. And it's just one of my favorite movies. This show is basically going back and meeting with all these cool chefs that inspired this show. In addition to it, maybe cameos and all sorts of things like that. So freaking good. Every episode has so many different recipes that are featured in in every episode, there's like, I would say at least 4 or 5 different ones. And they're like complicated recipes, and they're cooking in professional like restaurant kitchens for some of them. Sometimes they'll go to a person's house and cook. I think they should cook at Jon Favreau's house sometimes. Anyways, it's kind of like a student teacher type situation, because Roy Choi is such an amazing chef, and Jon Favreau is kind of just this humble student learning throughout the show. Super cool. So many cool cameos. Aaron Franklin, do you know him?
Oh, he's the one that wrote the book that you guys gave today for Christmas.
Yeah. Aaron Franklin, for those who don't know, he's an incredible smoked meats savant.
The Michael Jordan of barbecue.
Of barbecue, yeah. He's based in Austin, Texas. He has a place called Franklin's Barbecue, and which I've been to before. I have pictures of it on my Instagram, actually, and I love it. He's on 2 of these episodes, I think, in the first season of the show. David Chang is in this show. Different actor friends that Jon Favreau has worked with throughout the years.
Sure.
All sorts of cool people. And yeah, Roy Choi just goes in. He makes incredible recipes. And while I haven't found the actual takes on the recipes on the internet yet, I did find on, what's the name of it? It's whatsonnetflix.com. They have all of the screenshots of basically all the ingredients that go into each of the recipes that go into at least one of the seasons.
That's clutch.
Yeah, it's cool. They have these really cool interstitials where they have, it looks like claymation, but it's probably CGI, I'm not sure, where it's like a food truck rattling down the street, and then it kind of hits a bump and all the ingredients fly into the air, and then it's a freeze frame and it just points to all of it, like eggplant, broccoli, kosher salt, all this stuff, and they break down what's going to go into the recipe that they're about to cook. So I just found all these screenshots, and now I really want to go and try to actually recreate some of these. But
nice.
Anyways, yeah, so I'm going to be probably rewatching some of those episodes. I binged it like crazy. And yeah, I would recommend that to anyone who's trying to cook more this upcoming year. Find a show that you really like watching that has cooking in it, and see if you can try to recreate it. The internet has so many different takes on these recipes, so use that as inspiration. That's definitely what I'm going to be doing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I didn't really put a lot of thought into mine, but I'm kind of winging this segment. But I know it's 2020. It's a new year, new decade, which I think is even crazier. I know at the top of every year, everyone sets for themselves fitness goals, health goals, goals in that certain area. And I just want to share the SMART acronym with you guys who don't know what that is already. When it comes to my field study, pretty much everyone, if you're a PT, if you're a personal trainer, if you're a strength coach like myself, if you are a person even going to the medical field even, everyone knows what a SMART goal is. It's an acronym that we use. So when you're setting these goals down, you're writing them down in your journal, post them on your phone. If you're going to post it on your mirror, whatever. Here's like a way you can like kind of figure out what kind of goals you want to have and figure out like what's the most realistic thing for yourself. So the S for SMART goals is specific. So that's like targeting a specific area for improvement. With that, it could be like, okay, I want to like lose weight, but it's like, okay, like how much weight? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like, oh, I want to like gain muscle, but it's like, okay, but what does that mean? Do you want to like lift a certain amount of weight? Do you want to like actually gain a certain amount of like lean body mass?
Right.
Figure out what you actually want specifically. Measurable, which is the M in SMART. Quantify or suggest an indicator of progress. So with that, it's like finding something you can like actually like measure like data wise. Again, it's kind of similar to specific, but a lot of people will say like, oh, I want to lose weight. I'm like, okay, well, how much? It's like, I don't know, just enough so I can like fit into his pants.
Right.
Which I guess is like specific, kind of, but it's not like you can't really like measure that, because I mean, you can fit in the same like pants or whatever, but you might be actually way more because of extra muscle, but you've actually slimmed down. There's so many variables to this.
Right. It's not a very specific or helpful goal.
Right. So like find something. Here's like, okay, I want to like lose 2 pounds a week for 10 weeks. And that'd be like 20 pounds. That should be 20 pounds by the end. That's a good way to like measure out
right
like your goals, right? Assignable. So specify who will actually do it. So this could be like, okay, I'm doing this by myself, no help. It could be, okay, I'm a higher personal trainer. They're going to help me keep me accountable. This is a thing between me and him. It could be with a friend. It could be with a boyfriend, girlfriend, family member to help keep you accountable. But make sure that when you decide to go after these goals, that you hold yourself accountable, and that the people around you who are supposed to help you also help keep you accountable too. Because accountability is a huge thing when it comes to, staying in shape and staying on track with all that stuff. Realistic. What results can be realistically be achieved? And this is a good example I can use myself, actually.
Yeah.
So at the top of 2019, I set myself a goal to bench press 400, squat 500, and deadlift 600.
Wow.
It's now 2020. I haven't done any of those things, but I've actually gotten super close to my squat goal. I actually might be able to get it by next week, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah. So even though I didn't get the other two goals, they were still within a reasonable margin. I was still pretty close to those goals.
Yeah.
And I almost got, the squat one. So set a goal for yourself where there's like, there's like that like image of like a horse in a carriage. There's like a carrot in front of the horse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like just in front of him.
Yeah.
He like almost can get it, but not quite,
Yeah.
But the whole point is that the horse is like keep going forward because he's find a carrot, right?
Yeah, moving forward.
So it's kind of like a similar idea where it's find a goal that's going to help you keep going that you could get, but it's also hard enough where you're going to have to like really put in work and really, really stress yourself to get there,
Totally.
And then this kind of plays into the same thing, but the last thing, T, so time related. So specify when the result can be achieved. Make sure you give yourself enough time to actually complete the goal, but also don't give yourself too much time where you get too lax and you don't actually achieve it. So my people out there who have goals to get back in shape, lose weight, reach certain biomarkers with their health, etc., I wish you well. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can always hit me up on Instagram, DM me. Happy to answer your questions. Yeah, that's all I have for that segment.
Love it. That's great.
Yeah.
Very goal-oriented for both of ours.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it too. Yeah, you want our listeners to like become the best part of themselves and to like
Totally.
We want them to laugh and enjoy this podcast, but we also want them to like learn a little bit, too.
Totally. And
Yeah.
we're both very goal-oriented people, so I figure it'll be helpful just to this will be a little bit of an accountability thing, like track our progress, see how we're doing, see how we're finding different ways to inspire ourselves and keep moving forward with those different things we really care about. We want to talk music.
Let's talk music.
We're going to talk about some new music this episode. We're going to be talking Justin Bieber's new song, Yummy, and then The Weeknd dropped 2 singles, Heartless and Blinding Lights. So we want to talk about those a little bit.
The Canadian Kings coming back to take over America in 2020.
Beza absolutely loves The Weeknd so much. I haven't listened to much of his stuff, but I listened to these 3 songs quite a few times in prep for this. But yeah, I'm really curious to hear what you have to say about this. Particularly The Weeknd, because you have strong feelings about this usually.
So I want to just take it back slightly to last week where we were talking about the 2010s and how like social media kind of like defined that decade. Mm-hmm. And I think it's interesting that, and this is something that they've talked about in my favorite podcast, Flagrant 2, where, celebrity nowadays is all about proximity and being close with your fans. Mm-hmm. And like, you're always in their face, you're always posting on social media, you're always on tour.
Yeah.
You're always posting videos on YouTube, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
The Weeknd is like one of the last celebrities who's like practicing the art of like being distant. If you remember, like 2019, he was basically not there. He dropped My Dear Melancholy like beginning of 2018. Had a video come out, headline Coachella, and then that was it. And he deleted his Instagram, deleted his Twitter. Then no one heard from him for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then like Thanksgiving week, 2019, he drops a couple songs, puts his Instagram back up, and now he's back on top of the charts.
I respect that a lot, that he's it sounds like mature enough to step away from it, especially because I think it's probably unhealthy for a lot of people to be that exposed.
I don't necessarily think it's maturity though. I think it's more like marketing. Because like, here's the thing. We know a lot about Jay-Z. We know a lot about Beyonce. They're still like distant from like the everyday masses, right? They don't post on social media. They don't do that stuff.
Yeah.
But we don't really know that much about The Weeknd.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because you're a super fan. I don't know almost anything about The Weeknd.
I know more about The Weeknd than most people, and he's still like a very like mysterious person.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like there's very, very few clips of him like actually like sitting down and like talking.
Yeah.
Like it's a rare thing to like find him like sitting down like talking, like clips of that.
Does that make it easier for you or harder for you when you're listening to someone's music, like to know a lot about them?
What do you mean?
It helps me to know more about the artist when I'm listening to them.
Explain that.
I like seeing behind the scenes of how they made the music. I like knowing or having an idea anyways of who they are as like a person.
Mm-hmm.
That helps me connect to the music more if I see things in common with myself and that person. But one thing I was actually noticing when I was listening to Heartless and Blinding Lights was I don't know almost anything about The Weeknd, and so it was hard for me to tell if the way he was writing the songs was like in contrast to how he is in his real life, or like, you know what I mean? Like, because if you write a song, it might be like a juxtaposition from who you were before, like show some kind of growth. And I'm just not super familiar with him, so I really enjoyed the songs, but I didn't really know how to connect with it in that way.
Do you not believe the songs are like genuine? Like you don't think those songs are like truly who he is?
Well, I don't know. Okay, so let's talk about Heartless first, because this kind of ties into what I was thinking, especially.
Right.
So for Heartless, the music video has him, it's in Vegas, right? He's on the strip.
By the way, next year's Halloween costume, without a doubt.
You're going as The Weeknd?
1,000%. Are you kidding me?
You can pull that off, yeah.
The afro with the mustache,
yeah,
and then the whole suit. Yeah,
oh my god,
easy, done. Not even a question.
Yeah.
Next year's Halloween costume for sure.
For sure. Well. Do you think people would know that you're The Weeknd?
I feel like for the most part, yeah.
You think so? Or maybe. I don't know.
I think so.
I don't know how many people watch those music videos. That's my thing.
But like, it's like all over his Instagram too. It's like all over online. Like,
yeah,
it's
but
on
if
Spotify.
you hadn't recommended this song to me,
like in this, like
I don't know if I would have watched.
Like
the video.
the thumbnail is him in that outfit. You know.
That's true. And on the single cover, it has that too. On both of the
exactly.
things.
So like.
Yeah, because he's coming out with an album too. So if he plays into that costume or whatever more, or that outfit, I could see maybe people recognizing it. That would be so funny if no one knew who you were.
But you know what? I wouldn't even care. I'd be having so much fun.
Yeah,
with it.
Yeah, it would be fun. But yeah, so for the Heartless music video, first off, it has like Stranger Things vibes. Were you picking up on that?
Really?
To me, both songs and both performances had real Stranger Things vibes.
Okay, do you mean like 80s vibes or Stranger Things vibes?
Both. Look at.
I didn't get any Stranger Things vibes.
Really? Okay.
No.
Really? Dude, I really
80s for sure.
Definitely 80s.
Definitely 80s. But like, I think you're conflating the two.
You might be right. But the on the singles covers, the text font that is used looks a lot like the Stranger Things. It looks in that family of text to me, anyways. That was one clue I had. Some of the instrumentation I really saw it a lot. I'm surprised you didn't see it. You didn't notice that at all?
And I'm a Stranger Things fan, so.
Really? I got that so much.
No, I didn't pick up on that.
Okay, well, what about, here's one that you might, the album that's coming out for him is called Chapter 6.
Yeah.
Stranger Things, every episode has chapter whatever. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. I didn't pick up on it.
I think that might be what they're
But I see what you're saying.
I think it might be subtle.
For sure.
But like the synth leads, some of the drums in, both of the songs, like the aura of it really gave me 80s vibes. And
it's so funny.
I got Stranger Things vibes from that.
Because you know who produced both tracks? Metro Boomin.
He did Blinding Lights?
Yep.
Too? Really?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that surprised me.
Metro Boomin was known for like modern day, like heavy Atlanta trap drums.
Yeah.
Made this 80s synth pop record.
Yeah,
it's so interesting.
It is interesting. It's pretty impressive. The Heartless drums sound like Metro Boomin more, but I didn't hear it at all. I hardly heard it anyways. I don't know.
That was
Blinding
him.
Lights. I gotta listen back to that.
That was him.
Really? I'm looking. Hold on. I am really surprised.
Yeah,
by this, actually.
Look it up.
It says it was produced by Oscar Holter, Max Martin, and The Weeknd on Genius.
I was told that. And he was in the studio making a lot of the drum patterns in that song.
Interesting.
That's what I was told.
All right.
Well, he's the official producer right now. I'm not sure, but he was still involved in that process of that song.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I was really surprised to see that he's in the music video too.
For Heartless, yeah.
Going back to what I was saying about not knowing much about The Weeknd as a person, I couldn't. The video seems like I mean, he's talking about how it's just like a very rebellious song. He's doing a lot of drugs. He's having a great time.
Nothing wrong with that. Do all the drugs.
He's tripping out. He's having a great time in Vegas.
I'm not promoting drugs. That was a joke, okay? I make a lot of jokes like that that are very dry. Just so you all know.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying actually do drugs, but do drugs.
Yeah.
But don't do drugs.
Do all the drugs.
But do drugs.
In the video, he licks a toad at one point and just trips balls.
That was like the one part of it that really upset me.
It was very weird. Very weird. Also, he kisses a statue at one point. That weirded me out
Did
too.
he actually kiss it, or was he just like nuzzling
I think he
it?
did.
I think he was just nuzzling it.
I don't know, man. It looked intimate. But yeah, so for that song, there was a lot of those kinds of references, and I just was trying to figure out if this is who he is in real life, if the song is more of like a reflection, like he's actually really not like that, like he doesn't do a lot of the drugs and the partying, and he's more reserved, and this is kind of just like an alter ego side of him. I don't know. I always like knowing a little bit more about the artist to kind of understand where they're coming from, and so that was just me. But what did you get from it?
So I actually liked Heartless when I first heard it. I didn't like absolutely fall head over heels for it, but I did like it a lot. I mean, Metro Boom in The Weeknd, like you can't go wrong with that combo.
Yeah.
I think the drop at the beginning is like my favorite drop of the year.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, high praise.
I mean, it's just so dirty.
High praise.
Like,
I mean, we're pretty early into the year.
The Weeknd is like,
Literally separate.
he doesn't rap, but like him singing like over like a heavy trap beat is like, for some reason to me, is way harder than like any rapper could do it. I don't know what it is, but like he like, it's not even like sing rap. He's still singing. It's just like, it's so like melodic.
Yeah.
But it's like so staccato at the same time. Like it doesn't make sense.
He has a lot of references throughout it too. They're very like, packed verses.
Yeah. Like he doesn't like waste lyrics.
No.
You know, like every lyric you write, there's like an imagery or like a deeper thought associated with it.
Yeah. It's both songs are really grand. They have like a really big soundscape.
They
You know what I mean?
feel big almost.
very big.
And I think, and if you're a Weeknd fan, you know, like that was a similar feeling on Kissland, his first actual real album with Republic Records. There was a very like grand and like big feeling album. It had a lot of the musical traits to Trilogy, which is what he's most famous for back in the day. But it was like that with like orchestral vibes and like guitar and stuff in it. But this is like more like a pop and like R&B and like hip hop infused version of that. So I feel like he's embracing like the new pop hip hop waves that he's been on for the past 4 years or so.
Yeah.
So yeah, really, really interesting. First single, Heartless.
Did you like Heartless or Blinding Lights better?
Oh, Blinding Lights. I
Really?
love Ken. Biggest drop of the year, like instrumental drop.
Yeah. 3 days
Heartless.
in.
But like one of my favorite songs of the year, Blinding Lights.
Wow.
Like I heard oh, like there's a new like commercial with Mercedes Benz.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And like there's the Weeknd song in it. So I looked up on YouTube and like they had like a little snippet of the commercial. And I heard like the synths and I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, that's insane.
I got so excited. Searched all night and I found the actual like commercial like in German.
Yeah.
I was like, I need more of this. I need more of this.
Yeah.
And then the song came out. I can't remember what day it was, but the song came out and I had like on loop for like 3 hours straight.
It sounds like someone's running in the 80s. That's what
right?
the song sounds
Doesn't
like.
that feel that way?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it just sounds like you're running in the street in the 80s.
Like I was playing this song in the weight room when I was coaching my kids, and like some of the coaches who were, you know, older in their 50s rather, like, what is the 80s music you're playing? I'm like, this is an 80s. This came out yesterday.
Yeah. That's the weird thing, though. There's so many times that things are throwback, but it's like you're making it now. So how much is it 80s? How much is it just this is what music sounds like in 2020?
That's the thing. Like it feels like nostalgic, the 80s.
Yeah.
But it's also like, you know, its own way. It's also like so modern, so current.
Yeah, the drums
That's
are pretty great. Yeah, I think they have some. Is it toms in there? Like in some of the fills that just sounded very 80s. It kind of has a little bit of I want to say Stranger Things season 2, like first episode of the season type vibes.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like montage of everyone, like what they're doing now. They're at the arcade and everything. That's definitely the vibe. He performed both songs on Colbert, And
Did you watch those videos?
I did, yeah. Those were good. And he did, I'm forgetting which one it is now. I think he did Heartless. Yeah, it was Heartless that he did when he's walking through the back.
So cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I have no idea how they did that. Was that
I
just
don't know.
was that all green screen?
No, it wasn't green screen. It was real. But I don't know how they did it though.
But
there were some camera tricks going on for sure.
Yeah, it was cool. It had like a behind the scene kind of when SNL does the like the walking on the tile floors, like backstage type of.
If you haven't seen them, go check out The Weeknd's performances of on Colbert. He does both Blinding Lights and Heartless, and they're both very different, but they're both like very interesting. Like do like camera tricks and like weird imagery, and
it was
really
cool. He went all out, which was really great. I love when people do that on those types of shows. I love those type like late night talk shows. I've always have. So it's cool to see people really go hard.
I think they're on their way out, but you know. They're cool for now.
I think you're probably right. They have to make a change, but I've always loved them. So,
did you notice throughout this whole promo rollout, whether it's on IG, whether it's a music video, whether it's him on Colbert, do you notice anything different about The Weeknd, specifically about his face?
No. What about it?
Those aren't his real teeth.
What are his real teeth? I have no idea. I don't know this.
Watch the music video again, and then listen to him in the performance on the
Does he just
Colbert
have grills in or something, or what is it?
I don't know. I don't know if it's like fake teeth or like veneers, whatever. Those are not his teeth.
No.
I know I sound like a creep right now that I would know that, but
with him.
But here's the thing: those are not his teeth.
His real teeth aren't the
like,
ones.
Look up The Weeknd like smile.
Yeah.
Just look it up.
Yeah.
And then like go look at the
album cover or the single cover.
Look at the single cover and look at like a picture of him like from like a year ago.
That's funny. I didn't notice.
Those are not his teeth. Either he got like surgery, got veneers, or he just wearing like something fake. Because if you listen to the first like No He Sings and Heartless Colbert performance, it's like he's like lisping almost.
Oh really?
I think it's because like he wasn't used to like singing with it in his.
Just because he has chompers and.
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't know.
Listen to him sing, especially during Heartless. You can notice it very, very well, and especially in the first verse.
Dang, I had no idea.
No.
Yeah.
The Weeknd exposed.
The Weeknd exposed. Those aren't your real teeth, bro. Come forward, admit it.
But you know what? I don't mind it because even though he didn't sound all that great in the Heartless performance, he's really leaning to the character he's trying to play, which I love.
So you think it's a character?
Yeah, he's trying to be the Joker, like a different version of the Joker.
Oh, okay. Well, this helps with what I was saying earlier. Like, I don't know much about. So you think he's playing a character that's like an '80s version of the Joker, kind of?
He's playing he's playing himself, but as a Joker, but as himself. Fun fact: he went as Jack Nicholson's Joker for Halloween this past year.
So maybe it's been on his mind for a hot sec.
Yeah. So he's been. I don't think this is a coincidence. I think they're
interesting.
They're related to each other.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I predicted on my Instagram that Blinding Lights will be one of the top 3 songs of 2020 on the Billboard charts. Okay. Numbers wise. Because this is very, very similar to how he rolled things out for Beauty Behind the Madness, his first like big album. So he released Can't Feel My Face and The Hills at the same time, right? Can't Feel My Face, immediately, boom. Number 1, music videos out right away, like hot.
Yeah.
Then it died down. Then The Hills came out same exact time, but it just started here and gradually reached number 1. When it got there, it stayed there for a while, like a long time. His biggest songs number-wise by far. Video came out a little bit later too.
Okay.
I think it's a similar thing. Heartless right away. Hot. Video out right away.
Right.
Everything's going. It's been number 1 in the charts for like 2 weeks now. But I think Blinding Lights, I think since that song has more pop appeal,
for sure,
I think it's gonna slowly rise up the charts, stay there for a long time, stay on radio play for a long time, and then slowly go back down.
I wonder if he's doing the same play again.
You heard it here first.
We'll have to, only time will tell.
And remember, I predicted a lot of things in the music industry. You know this.
People can't remember this.
But you remember this.
Give me an example. I'm not remembering anything right now.
But Taylor Swift Kendrick Lamar Bad Blood remix. I called that out 2 months before it happened.
Why did you call it out? What made you think that was going to happen?
Because I knew that she was going to do a remix of it. I knew she was going to do something a little edgier. And then there was a day where Taylor Swift and Kate were having an exchange on Instagram. Mm-hmm. I said, "Oh, it's going to happen."
You just knew in that moment.
All my roommates said, "I don't know, whatever." Didn't think much of it.
But you were positive.
2 months later, it happened.
You were certain.
I called it out.
You felt
That's
it.
one of the many things I've called out.
Well,
yes.
We'll see. We'll see if the weekend
I know
Blinding
things,
Lights
Ken.
stays.
I know
grows to be a hit on the billboards and stays there
will be
for a long time.
Just you wait.
We'll see.
Just
we'll see.
you wait.
We'll wait it out.
The video's gonna come out. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be a thing.
All right. Let's talk Bieber.
Let's talk Bieber.
Yummy. Don't
Yummy.
like the name of the song. I don't like it. I always laugh every time.
I hated it at first, but now I'm all about it. Now that I actually heard the song, watched the video, I actually like it now.
Do you like the video?
I don't hate it. I don't love it.
It makes me feel uncomfortable.
It's just a whatever thing to me.
You know?
I don't like the shots of the people eating the food like super close.
That's like the whole thing. That's like the whole. It's like
That's for like 10 seconds.
It's all like weird Jello mold food. And
I don't mind
people
that.
eating it.
I don't like seeing the camera in people's mouths while they're eating it. That's what I didn't like.
Yeah, that's really gross.
But everything else, I didn't really. It's whatever.
Yeah.
It's just whatever to me.
He
dyed his hair pink.
Yeah, I was gonna say almost this weird color.
I thought he went back to blonde again.
Yeah, I don't know.
This man keeps confusing me with his hair. I don't like it.
Yeah,
Be consistent, Bieber. We want consistency.
I'm not a fan of the dyeing of the hair that looks like a nurse's, like, you know, that pastel, like the blue pastel nurse gown type thing.
Yeah.
It's like that type of blue, and then you do like that type of purple, that type of pink, that type of all these colors, and that's like trendy, and I don't like it. People are putting it in their hair.
Why?
I think it looks terrible.
Those are the same exact colors for Taylor Swift's album rollout.
I'm sure she did it better. I hate it on someone's hair, though. She didn't dye her hair. I'm not saying I hate the colors themselves. The hair looks weird. I was thinking,
why are you hung up on the hair?
I don't know.
Like, I don't like it, but I feel like you're especially hung up on it.
I'm really hung up on it, man. I'm wondering if it's intentional. I've been thinking a lot about this because we were talking before we started recording. He's kind of... Well, the reason we wanted to talk about him initially is that he's coming out with a docu-series, I guess, right?
On YouTube, yeah.
Yeah.
YouTube original.
Yeah. And
Shout out to YouTube.
Yeah, so that made me start to think I haven't really heard much from him in a long time. He's rarely put out music, but he's been featured on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And pretty much everything he's been featured on has been incredibly successful and generally like really good songs.
Here's my thing about that, though. Has he ever had a top selling album or a top single?
I mean, probably from...
Has he had number one single? I don't think he has.
You mean like releasing a single outside of an album?
Has he had a single that's either reached a Billboard number one or the top 40 number one? I don't think he has.
You don't... Even with Purpose? The album? You don't think anything...
I think the album did for a little bit, but I don't think it was that long. But I don't think he's had a number one single.
I don't know about number one. That's I actually really don't know. I'm actually surprised that you think that.
Here's my thing about that, though. For someone to have as much impact on social media, on just the culture and like who we talk about and who's the most relevant, for some reason he's so relevant and so popular in our culture. But I feel like what he's done numbers wise isn't as impressive as people think he is. And I wonder why that is.
Well, I want to look at the numbers.
And same thing with Selena Gomez. She's so important and relevant to our culture. We talk about her all the time.
I mean, you do. I don't mention Selena Gomez. You love Selena.
I love Selena. She was my first crush.
Really? First celebrity crush was Selena?
No, she wasn't. Sean Johnson was.
Who's that?
Yeah. Who's Sean Johnson?
Oh, Olympian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She married now with a kid. God bless. Her husband's dope.
All the best.
Her husband's dope. I like his husband. Her husband. He's an NFL player. He's a long snapper. I get it, but I don't get it.
Well, he's really attractive. That's part of the reason.
Is that all it is?
Well, he was He was
that's
like
that's why I'm frustrated. Like,
Well,
is
okay,
that
so-
really all it is?
I mean, he was a child pop superstar. He was.
But
he
Ken,
was that one.
you're not understanding what I'm saying though.
What are you saying?
There's 10 pop superstars out there right now, but they're not talked about like Justin Bieber was talked about. They're not swooned over like Justin Bieber swooned over.
Yeah. Well, that was like.
They didn't have the success that he had.
Well,
But
I don't
like,
know if any of them were that young when they were doing all that stuff.
they were just as young.
I don't know about. I mean, Ariana Grande was on like a Disney show, but she wasn't like Justin Bieber had Baby when he was
But-
really
but
little,
Ariana's had-
a young boy.
But I feel like Ariana's had more number one singles, more Hot 100 charters, more, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, because she's been. out there
Bieber has
making
had how
music.
many albums?
Bieber, oh,
3 albums, I think.
I think. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think
We don't
three.
count the Christmas one, even though that was a good album. We don't count that one.
Yeah, 3 albums. He
Like,
hasn't put
isn't
one
that-
out. When did Purpose come out? Wasn't it like
2015.
2015, 14? Yeah, he hasn't put something out
But
like an
since-
actual work in a long time.
But he's still been super relevant, super popular. I wonder why.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's because
he's
I think he's
attractive
been
and he's a celebrity.
I think he's yeah. I think that's definitely part of it. He has, I think, a little bit what we were talking about last week with, and also this week with The Weeknd being reserved and not going out and doing a lot of press and things like that. I feel like,
But
he
The
doesn't do
Weeknd
any
is
of
like
that.
Kawhi Leonard. He like goes away and like you don't hear anything about him. He's like not findable.
Yeah, it's a different
Bieber,
strategy.
he's posting on social media. He's doing FaceTime. He's posting on Twitter.
It's a
You
different
can
strategy.
find Bieber. He's
Yeah.
doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Weeknd, you can't find him. He's locked away.
He is. No, he's definitely more, for at least from what you've been telling me, he's much more reserved and like withdrawn. But I would say it's kind of a similar strategy. And the Biebs, he like what I was saying, he has on a few songs over the past few years, and pretty much all of them have been really
You know
good
what?
and really popular.
You know what? That's exactly it.
Yeah.
He's done collabs, and that's kept them
But,
in,
like,
in the circle.
A select few really good collabs with all like incredible artists.
Very calculated.
Yeah.
Like methodical like collaborations.
I mean, honestly,
that's
he's
what's
probably
kept them in the loop.
Yeah, honestly, I think he's probably trying to not be famous anymore because of his pipe dream weird childhood.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Let's talk about it.
Let's say you're 18 years old.
All right.
You're 18.
I'm 18.
You've been not even pop superstar. You've been a pop icon for 3 years.
Oh my god.
Your parents have been storing away your money for you.
Responsible.
Again, this is a hypothetical. I don't know if all this is true, but this is as far as I know.
Sure.
You've been a pop icon. Literally any girl from 23 to under would do anything to be with you. Like anything, right? You have $50 million in the bank instantly the moment you turn 18.
Mm-hmm.
How do you not go batshit crazy like he did?
How do you not?
How do you not?
How do you not urinate in a pail and say?
I
fucked
think
up
about
things?
myself at 18. If I had that ridiculous amount of money, like unfathomable amount of money,
Yeah.
the incomprehensible amount of fame that you had at that young age when you're 18 years old, how do you not like?
Yeah. How do you not lose it?
But the media was.
I mean, he did though. He definitely did. He did all sorts of stupid stuff. He was a really dumb kid.
But like,
I mean, but as anyone in that situation would be.
But I look back now, and the media was extremely hard on him. But like, if any other person was in that situation, they would do the exact same thing. The exact same thing. $50 million in your bank account.
Yeah.
You're 18. No one can tell you nothing.
Yeah. He was. What was that roast joke? It was like, "You've become the King Joffrey of pop."
But actually,
Yeah. Yeah.
can I have to ask you?
Please.
Your 18th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
You get handed $50 million. You have all the fame in the world, like all of it. What you doing? First thing.
Something so dumb, probably.
What you doing? Be honest now.
I would hope that I would
Be
pay
honest
off debt of family and friends. That would be the first thing.
No.
I would hope I would do that.
No. Not what you hope would do. what would you actually do?
I don't.
Your selfish, greedy self would come out. What would you actually do? Be honest.
I'd buy a convertible.
Which one? What convertible are you going with?
I don't even know, but I know I would buy...
the Ferrari, the Lambo?
I don't know. I'm not a big Lambo guy. I would buy a convertible probably.
Yeah?
It's so stupid.
Old school or new school?
It's probably something more classic. It's the most like retired guy thing of all time to do, but I love convertibles.
But the first thing is a car, right?
Probably. I'm ashamed to say.
If I get 50 million.
If I in this irresponsible simulation, that's what I would do.
I feel like I'd take a trip almost.
But that's I don't know.
But no. Hear me out. I do a trip, but I take all my boys with me.
Oh my gosh.
And we just make all the worst decisions in the world.
That sounds pretty reasonable. Yeah, I could see that.
But here's the thing. He did that like every weekend until he was like 22.
Yeah, but would you want to take a trip if your whole life is traveling already? You know what I mean?
If it's not work.
Where would you go on your trip?
Wherever we can make decisions terribly at 18.
Like near a city? Or
not
are
America.
You thinking like an island? Well,
not America.
Well, yeah. Are you thinking more of an island vibe? More of...
I'm thinking like of a place where they allow 18-year-olds to drink, where they have women, where they have all the drugs.
Okay. Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs, but do drugs.
Do all the drugs.
That'll be a soundbite.
Lick a toad, bro.
That was so weird in the video.
So weird. So creepy, and you just stared at it for such a long time.
I feel like if you're like late 20s, early 30s, you get a ton of money, yeah, it could be like you'll maybe splurge a little bit, but you'll be more responsible.
Yeah.
But if you're 18, you're still a teenager.
Yeah.
Crazy to think about, man. I don't know. Just some, because we thought about talking about Bieber in the podcast, and what kind of mind about Bieber wasn't necessarily his music, but was just his life up to this point. Because I feel like we've known about Bieber for over a decade now, but he's only 25?
Something like that. He's pretty, yeah.
He's like our age roughly. Like,
pretty much.
Weird to think about, man.
It is weird. Yeah.
He's still pretty young.
Yeah.
Before we go to the end of the episode, let's talk about the actual music.
I was gonna say,
Yummy.
yeah, Yummy.
So you didn't like the video, clearly.
Yeah, the video weirded me out a lot. But the song was good. I liked the electric piano or whatever that was, whatever synth that they were using.
I enjoyed it.
I liked that. A lot. I liked the beat.
Who wrote this song? Who produced it? I want to see. I'm gonna look it up.
I want to say Pooh Bear. Yep. So it was produced
of course
by...
Pooh Bear did it. Of course. So Pooh Bear produced it. Kid Coach produced it. Sasha Satora. I feel like I've heard that name before.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
I don't know who it is, but I definitely feel like I've heard her name before.
Yeah, it was good. I thought it's really catchy. I don't know if it'll age well or not, but I liked it.
I don't know how well it'll age. Maybe it's going to age great. Maybe it won't. My thing is, even though I enjoyed this song, I hope the rest of the album doesn't sound like this. I do want more experimental stuff from Bieber. Yeah. I feel like this kind of plays into what he did before.
A little bit.
And since he took 5 years off, and he talks about how he's in a different stage of life, and he's, really dug deep into his faith, and he's married now, and he's kind of seeing what's important in life. I'm hoping that even though I love this song, I do want more songs like this one. I hope that we do get more experimental and deeper stuff from him in this upcoming album.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can get more snippets of that in the YouTube docuseries.
Yeah. Were there horns? I want to say, were there horns in Yummy?
Horns?
Yeah, like trumpets. I want to say there was some kind of like throwback R&B outro that was in there.
I'm not going to lie, I didn't hear that. What my mind gravitated more towards was the drums in that song.
Yeah. I want to say there was this kind of interesting retro fade out of that song that I was kind of impressed by.
The drums felt kind of heavy, but had like a good way in the song.
It felt like catchy. It was summery, very summery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Summer vibes.
Yeah. I see that. I definitely see that.
I don't know. I liked it.
I wonder who's going to collaborate on this project.
I don't know.
I've heard rumors about Travis Scott on this project. I've heard rumors about Post Malone on this project as well.
I could see that.
Yeah. You've heard Travis Scott collaboration before with Bieber. Mm-hmm. Post Malone, I think, would be pretty good. Do you ever see that YouTube video where they like slow down Post Malone's voice, or like speed up Post Malone's voice and it sounds like Bieber?
Really?
And then vice versa. They like take a Bieber song, they slow it down, it sounds like Post Malone.
Really?
Yeah, it's really funny.
Huh. No, I want to see that.
Yeah, it's really funny. Check it out.
I listened to the whole Purpose album earlier today, and one thing I'll say about that, I liked it's kind of, that album was like my guilty pleasure when it came out. And then listening back.
Same. Yeah, totally.
It was really good. I remember, one time, I was just so embarrassed by it, man. Like when it would come on and I'd be like, oh yeah, it's Biebs. Like I was just embarrassed.
No shame though.
Yeah. But listening back, I'd still like maybe 2/3 of the album. I think if it was maybe 2/3 of the size, it would be just like all amazing songs all the way through.
Right.
There's some fluff, I would say, personally, but it's good though. I really like the production sounds really great, and it's like very clear and crisp, and that aged really well, I would say. A lot of the songs did. Like I was listening through it and I'm like, oh, I forgot about the song. Oh, I forgot about this song. Oh, I forgot about this song. Oh, Ed Sheeran wrote
I remember on the songwriter documentary.
Yeah.
So Sheeran, he's writing what was this song
Love
called?
Yourself.
Yeah, he wrote Love Yourself.
Yeah. That was really cool to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It was cool. I am curious to see what he kind of puts out. He's been, like we were saying, he's done some cool collaborations, and he did one with, was it Dan and Shay? Is that the name of them?
10,000 Hours.
10,000 Hours. That was pretty good too. So yeah, I don't know. I think he's probably doing the right strategy. Just like let things simmer for a long time, then come out with like hopefully a good album. I don't know. I was really impressed. One thing that the Purpose album reminded me of, Questlove. In 2013, he was teaching a course at New York University. It was I think it was called like Classic Albums or something like that. Mm-hmm. And breaking down like I think he was saying he had over 16 gigs of music that he was presenting to the class over this semester or whatever. And one of the themes was transitional albums. So like an artist is doing one thing and then they make a major change to how they're approaching it. So like a modern example would be like Kanye doing a full gospel album, like what he did with Jesus is King. So he's talking about these transitional albums, and sometimes that leads an album to be classic. And that was one thing I'm not to say that Purpose is a classic album, but it was reminding me of that, though. It was definitely like a coming of age thing, kind of a shift from what he was doing before. So
for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool.
So let's end the show with some listener questions.
Oh yeah.
So the first one at Deborah Nelso _gym page asked, what are your gym style inspirations, and also asked what are your sport, career, and family goals. Gym style inspiration, I would definitely have to say anything and everything Alphalete. That's my favorite brand. That's why I always rock. If you see me in the gym or even just out and about, I usually have something, at least one thing Alphalete on at all times. Not even planned, it's just how I dress. I buy so much from them. Also like Gymshark stuff too. They're pretty good. I mean, everyone loves Nike. Everyone loves Adidas. I don't know.
I've been seeing a lot more people in Gymshark lately. I've been noticing that. Yeah,
they're definitely growing a lot. They're a big international brand, you know. Mm. And then sport, career, and family goals. Sport goals, I have my own, but I kind of want to keep them a secret. And I'm talking about them at a later day.
For those.
But you guys will know at some point, I'm sure. Career goals. I'm trying to get experience right now coaching. I'm one of the coaches of strength conditioning at Concordia, and then I'm also football and track coach. So I'm just trying to get as much experience as that as possible. And then the idea is to go to graduate school of strength and conditioning within the next year or two. And the family goals, no plans for a family currently. Yeah. The foreseeable future seems pretty single right now.
Yeah, big question. That's fine.
Yeah, big question. How about you, Ken? Career and family goals.
Career goals, I kind of want to keep under wraps a bit, but I would say right now I'm just trying to get better at some of the skills that I'm working on. So I've been really diving into a lot of training stuff, and I kind of am seeing storytelling as the through line through all these different creative endeavors and interests that I have. And so I'm trying to hone in on some of those skills and refine them. For family stuff, I would say just stay chilling with my family. I have a big family and I love them and they're great, and that's all I'm concerned about right now. So
right on. And then the other person who asked questions was Sydney, a good friend of mine from our time at Acceleration North when we interned together. So she actually asked a ton of questions.
Great.
Let's see. Let me find one that's for you. What inspired you to get into cooking?
It's a good question. First off, my mom is a great cook.
Indeed, she is.
She's really good. Can make a whole bunch of stuff that is just so amazing. My dad is also into cooking, but he has kind of his greatest hits. He has maybe 4 or 5 dishes that he can hit out of the park every time, and that's pretty much what he makes. That's kind of his contribution. So I'm kind of a mix of those two, where I just want to keep on trying all these different varieties, but then also be obsessive about trying to get them really good. So it starts with the family. And then I would say shows like Food Network I watched a lot growing up. So like Alton Brown's Good Eats was a big one for me.
Okay.
I loved that. It played into my childhood puppet obsession and like nerdy science stuff, and he's just like a weirdo, and he broke the fourth wall constantly, which was fun.
Sure.
That was a big one. And then in college, it was just kind of an independence thing. Like, oh, I'm going to start cooking for myself. I want to get good at this. Then I did marketing for a restaurant group for a while. That was super fun. And now it's just following all sorts of people on Instagram and watching like the Bon Appetit YouTube videos. Honestly, the Chef Show is probably my number one favorite cooking show right now. It's so good. Cannot recommend it enough. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into it.
All right. I'll do one for myself.
Yeah.
So what's one exercise that is a staple in your routine or any of your clients, and why? I would say actually for both myself and my athletes, one thing that it's not even a specific thing that I focus on. It's more so that I make a big emphasis on compound movements. So your big lifts like your squat, your bench, your deadlift, your cleans. Whenever I'm doing my own workouts or writing workouts for my athletes, I make a big, that's probably the biggest point in my workout, because I feel like a lot of coaches and trainers these days, they focus too much on doing a lot of little things that are new and trendy, and they don't focus enough on your basic things that are actually going to make the biggest difference in your training. So
For people who aren't as savvy to this, like give some examples of compound movements.
Just your squats, your deadlifts, anything that's like focusing on like major muscle groups, and like
would like a bench press or like a push up or like a lunge count?
Yep, a bench press would definitely be one of those. Even like a barbell, like single leg like squat or something like that would be a compound movement.
Would a pull up count as a compound movement?
Yep, totally.
Okay.
Yeah. You're gauging different muscle groups. You're focusing on the back, your lats, your traps, even forearms and biceps, all that stuff. So I make a big point to focus on those instead of, just your bicep curls or, hamstring curls or just stuff like that. Like those have a place for sure in training, but I don't focus nearly as much as that. If you look at the workouts of my athletes, it's like 2 big compound lifts where they're doing that for like 2/3 of the time, and then the other third of the time they're doing their accessory work. So that's what I would say for that. Ken, another question for you.
Yeah.
And we'll do one more question each, and then we'll wrap it up.
Cool.
If you could open a restaurant, what would it be, and what would be on the menu?
One of the things I would love to do is to open a cafe in the Twin Cities. One of my first jobs was working at a patisseria. So I was a barista serving pastries and gelato, stuff like that. I like the idea of not short order, but relatively kind of like Anthony from Queer Eye, like fast casual. He always says fast casual. So maybe in that realm of maybe bowls or something like that. I really don't know. But definitely leaning into drinks like the coffees, the teas, and then bringing in really good dishes and then serving it hopefully quickly. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I have volumes to say about that, but that's kind of like my cliff notes.
So, question for me: who in the fitness industry field has influenced you or helped you the most in your knowledge and training? What have you learned from them? When it comes to who's influenced me the most, I probably say Coach Quast and Coach Michaels, who were my coaches in high school, and now I'm coaching alongside them now. I would say I've also learned a lot from Chris Carroll at Bethel University, who was my advisor and a teacher for a lot of my courses, who taught the strength conditioning course at Bethel that I took. And basically, he laid the foundation for everything I know about strength conditioning in that class, and working alongside him throughout my career there. And then at Concordia is kind of where I kind of refined those skills and put them to work.
Yeah.
And then as I was doing that, Coach Quast, Coach Michaels would, have explanations of why they were doing certain things and why they chose to do this lift instead of that lift, et cetera, and how they would coach the athletes and teach them, how do you work through your clean progression? How do you teach, the squat, et cetera, stuff like that. So, and they also taught me, have a passion for what you do, like if you aren't passionate about this field, like you shouldn't be in it, because eventually it's going to run you down. You're not going to want to do it anymore. You're going to be doing a bad job at it. So that's what I would say for that. Guys, before we get out here, first we want to say thank you for listening. We appreciate your support.
Thank you. Yeah.
We also want to correct ourselves. Last episode we gave you the wrong information on the socials and other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because we updated a couple things.
Yep.
I had a little feud with Instagram, but it's
you
all
did?
good. We figured it out.
Oh, good.
We came to understanding.
This is the first I've heard of it.
So, if you want to listen to us, you can find us on Castbox. You can find us on YouTube. You can also find us on SoundCloud. And all you have to do is type in The Cook and the Coach, and you should be able to find us there. If you are on Twitter and you want to follow us and find out more about us through that way, you can follow us at The Cook and the C1. Again, that's The Cook and the letter C, 1. And then Instagram, you can follow us at Podcast The Cook and the Coach. Again, at Podcast The Cook and the Coach. And then, guys, if you have any question for us, just please feel free to DM us on Instagram and Twitter. You can email us at thecookandthecoachpod@gmail.com. Again, one more time, that's thecookandthecoachpod@gmail.com. My Instagram, at Beza, Baeza, and then last name Tensaya, Tensaie, Beza Tensai. You can follow me there. You can DM me there. Ask me questions for the pod or just in general. Ken, your socials?
On Instagram, KPMartin2, KPMartin2. Yeah, same thing. DM me if you have any questions about the show or anything else. Guys, that's another episode of The Cook and the Coach. We appreciate your listening. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels, our SoundCloud channels, Castbox, Instagram, Twitter, all that. Really does help us out a lot. And when we listen, please like the episodes. Yeah. That'll help us get farther reach as well. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening. Peace out. Goodbye. God bless.